Twisted genius. Dream life beast. What if I never made it to the top? What if that meant that I was never meant to rock? Would it be the reason that it finally make me stop? Or make me go hard and give it everything I got? Made a promise to them all, I'ma push it till I drop. If it's in the Lord's will, I bring it back to the block. I ain't made it through the door, but I put cracks in the lock. While my way from on the bottom, now I'm headed for the top. It's Machiavelli.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my world. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification so you know when I'm coming and how I'm coming. So let's just go ahead and keep it twisted and hop right into it. This isn't going to be a long video. I just wanted to point out a couple things that I had seen in the news lately. I know y'all seen the title. I'm going to explain what I mean by that. And just point out some things I don't know if everybody has seen or is really understanding, you know, what's going on out here in regards to the vax. So I was looking at this YouTube video that popped up the other day, and I just wanted to point out some things that the president of Ghana was talking about. In regards to the vaccine over in Ghana.
When I made my first appearance at the General Assembly as the newly elected president of Ghana, I said neither Ghana nor Africa wanted to be scars on anybody's conscience. I said we want to build economies that are not dependent on charity and handouts, because long and bitter experiences have taught us that no matter how generous the charity, we would remain poor. 1 year on, although infection rates and deaths are relatively lower in the region, the virus's impact on economies and livelihoods has been damaging.
You hear that? The impact of the virus is lower, but the effect on economies and livelihoods is where it's been the most damaging, right? So mind states on businesses, money flow, all of that is what's been affected more than anything.
The pandemic has also shown us that the great advances in science and technology notwithstanding, we still have a lot to learn and discover about the human body and about life. Thus far, in spite of the grisly predictions of dead bodies littering the streets of Africa.
Y'all remember that, right? Y'all remember when they was saying, they was telling us that too, that people are just gonna be dropping dead on the street. But you know, one of my major things has always been, one of my major arguments is that if it's so dangerous and it's so damaging, you got all these people on the street with compromised immune systems who are doing fine, homeless people who don't have nowhere to go and no way to protect themselves, and you don't see bodies just piled up on the street, on the sides of the streets. So it never made sense to me, like what they were saying in the beginning.
And in spite of not having as much access to vaccine as the developed world, Africa seems mercifully to have escaped the worst of the COVID death rates.
You heard what he said? In spite of not having, they don't even have access to the vaccine like a lot of the other countries, and their death rates are significantly lower. So is that just, you know, by chance y'all lucked up because y'all didn't have enough access to the COVID vaccines to make sure everybody was taken care of if it was that bad? And now you're noticing that the death rates are a whole lot lower than what was initially said it was going to be, and why you needed to pile up on these vaccines.
And for that, we thank God. One unfortunate development appears to be the recent measures on entry into some countries in Europe, which suggests that Covishield, the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine manufactured in India, is not recognized by these countries.
You hear that? So basically, Um, the vaccine that they were given isn't recognized by other countries as a proven vaccine, so they can still reject them from entry into their country. That was never even thought about over here in the United States. What if the vaccines that they've approved over here and they're giving out to people isn't accepted into other countries if you travel internationally? Something to think about.
What is intriguing is the fact that this vaccine was donated to African countries through the COVAX facility. The use of vaccines as a tool for immigration control will be a truly retrogressive step.
See, so now he's saying that, using a vaccine to determine whether, people can come into your country or not is like retrogressive in thinking. You're going backwards in policies. So it's like these vaccines were donated to us by the people that developed them, who said they were safe to give out and they would be what was needed to protect the people. But now you're telling me that they're using it as a way to discriminate on people, basically. Oh, you're from that country, so you had to have this vaccine, so you can't come in here. You're not allowed. So that's crazy, because if that bleeds over into the United States, then you know how much of an impact that would have on people who travel internationally. Like, that would be crazy. So I started doing, I know I like to research. So I started researching just to see if something like that was affecting the United States yet. And they do have a list of the states that have banned vaccine passports, and these vaccine passports are basically what you need to say you didn't have the shot that they approve of and that you can move around in a state, basically. So I looked through all they actually have a list. Got all the states listed on here, and they pretty much tell you which states are banning vaccines. Like, for example, I'll start with the first one. It says vaccine passports are banned in this state. Republican Governor Kay Ivey on May 24th signed a bill that bans business and government entities across the state from requiring coronavirus vaccine passports. Among several provisions, the bill states that an entity or individual doing business in the state may not refuse to provide any goods or services, or refuse to allow admission to a customer based on the customer's immunization status or lack of documentation that the customer has received an immunization. The law limits the requirements to vaccines approved as of January 1st, 2021. So that's in Alabama. So I went down and I was seeing that pretty much for the most part, most states were in agreement that they weren't upholding the vaccine passports. So I was like, that's fine. That's actually a good thing, great thing, right? Then I start going down and I actually got to Hawaii. So Hawaii is the first state that has fully implemented the vaccine passports. Starting May 11th, the fully vaccinated individuals in Hawaii who uploaded their proof of vaccination to the state's safe travel system were allowed to travel inter-county with pre-travel testing and quarantine restrictions. Governor David Ige, a Democrat, said in late May that he is targeting July 4th for allowing vaccinated out-of-state travelers to come to Hawaii and bypass restrictions through a similar system. According to Forbes, Ige later announced in a June 4th news conference that starting on June 15th, the state will expand its passport program to trans-Pacific travelers who have been vaccinated in Hawaii. According to Hawaii News Now, the governor later announced on June 24th that travelers vaccinated on the U.S. mainland can skip quarantine requirements without needing to get a COVID test starting July 8th. Hawaii News also reported. So basically, they're using these passports as a method to determine if you can get into the state and you can move around freely They're going back and forth about it. Obviously, that was the only state I seen that had fully implemented it. The other states, like I said, they haven't began to do anything like this. I think all except Utah, it's been partially accepted in Utah. Let's see. Yeah, vaccine passports are partially banned in this state. A bill signed into law by Republican Governor Spencer Cox prohibits the Utah state government from requiring people to get COVID-19 vaccine, but private companies are not forbidden from doing so, according to the Salt Lake Tribune. So if you have a private company, you can require the use of vaccine passports. So, you know, like I said, I don't have a, it's just I don't think they should be required. I don't think any state should do it. But when stuff starts to exist in this country, you know, other states sometimes catch on. You know what I'm saying? Anytime they pass laws, pass bills, implement things, then it eventually starts to spread to other places. So that's just something to be aware of, something to think about. You know what I'm saying? And understand, you know, it definitely has to be a conversation that's kept going before, you know, a lot of rights are just swiped away. So y'all tell me what y'all think. Like, comment, subscribe. Till the next time, keep it twisted. I'm out.